guys, welcome back to our channel. Okay, cool. Okay, so introduce the video.
Well, you know I never introduced.
Because you never like to talk.
No, I don't. What do you mean?
You never want to speak.
No.
So here's your chance to shine, Fats. Go.
So this video is literally going to be our software engineering journey and how we ended up being software engineers, because it is a bit random. Like, we both done history of our background.
Though, but
no,
yeah.
you are. Babes, you've been...
Anyways, we'll hear about that more in the video if you care to listen.
Also, someone did actually ask.
Who?
To go, I don't know, some subscriber more about the journey, so here it is.
Oh yeah, no, on Instagram I always get people asking, but I just never bothered to reply because I knew we were going to do this video. So guys, let me give you like my perspective, or like my experience of how we got like into this. I got finessed by this one over here. I was doing an internship which was going to end in like a couple of months, so obviously I needed to think of my next steps, and like I'm always like very just unknowing of what I want to do, what I want to be, where I want to, like, what I want to, yeah, whatever. So then, you know, me and Fatsa was having a discussion about our future careers, and she was like, Aisha, like, let's go into tech, let's be software engineers, like, it's the new thing. And like, obviously, like, I kind of knew a bit about tech and like a bit about coding, but not really, I didn't really have a clue. So I was like, you know, she was telling me all these like beautiful ideas and these dreams of what it's going to be like. We're going to work remote, we're going to live in Bali, we were just going to be living our best lives. We're going to have like an amazing salary, we were going to love coding and be sick at it, because like it's like solving puzzles, and I love to solve puzzles, yeah. Anyway, so I started to apply for like no, that's not how it went, is it?
That is how it went. Literally,
no, so
the first thing you applied for, you got it.
Yeah, so Fats did an application for this grad scheme, the software engineering grad scheme, and then I did the application also. And yeah, somehow miraculously, it was a genuine miracle. We both managed to get through. Actually, let's explain that bit first. So I
didn't even get in.
So yeah, so there's about 4 stages.
Well,
to this application.
But I didn't.
So it's a 4-stage application, like a standard grad scheme. I fluked all of them, honestly, and I think it's just because I'm good at waffling as well, so like that helps with the interview stage. And yes, we were waiting on the response, and like I was successful and I got through and I made it to the course. And then Fats got the phone call saying that she didn't make it through to the course, and I was so upset, guys. You don't understand. I was like, Fats, I'm not doing it. I was like, I don't want to do it, because like I felt like she deserved it, and like she wanted it way more than I was just doing it because this could be a good opportunity. Like tech, obviously there's so many things you can get into with it, and it's like the future, and you know, there's so many prospects to it, whereas Fats genuinely wanted to like be a software engineer, and you know, she knew this is what she wanted to do, whereas with me it was kind of just like exploring my options. So when I found out Fats didn't make it, I was just,
this girl was being ridiculous.
I was
guys.
like, I'm not gonna, I was like, you can take my space.
It didn't make sense, yeah. And I was like,
no, because I knew you were upset. I knew you were so upset.
I wasn't upset.
No,
I didn't even care.
No, she did, guys.
What do you mean up?
So anyways, I hadn't accepted my position. I had like, I think like a couple of days to accept the offer and sign the contract, and then miraculously, another little miracle, I think, was it the next day or 2 days after?
2 days after, yeah.
2 days after, Fats got the phone call.
But wait, I got the space, but they were like, they're gonna defer my entry. Basically, it's a grad scheme, but before you actually get the job, they want you to do like a 3-month intensive boot camp, and they were just like, you've got a lot going on, because obviously I was doing my masters. Yeah, that was the main thing, and I had my disso coming up then, and obviously I was just telling them all these things I'm doing in my interview. They were just like, you're actually doing too much. So
yeah, it was nothing to do with her like skill set or the fact that she wasn't good enough. It was just because they knew how intense the boot camp was, and if you have like a part-time job, if you had like uni on the side, they didn't accept you because they knew that it would be so intense.
To be a full-time
you wouldn't
commitment.
be able to balance. Yeah, you had to basically have nothing going on in order to do this boot camp.
Yeah, and then I did make better. Your mum made better.
Yeah, I was making better.
Everyone was just making better. And I think like a few people dropped out. So then obviously, because I was on this waiting list, they were just like, do you want the offer then? Like, we'll move it forward. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, thank you, obviously.
So then that's when our software engineering career began. So to summarise why I wanted to do it is because I wanted to just explore my options in life. Tech seemed like a very prosperous career path to go down. Coding seemed interesting enough.
Mine's like similar, but also I knew what I wanted to do. And also I think, basically, when I was younger, back in college, I used to have a blog. and I just really wanted to change the template. And I remember I had to end up buying a template because I didn't, like, you know when you go to the back end of like WordPress, for example, it's just so much code. I was like, shit, this is scary. Anyway, so that's when I first knew like what coding was, but I was just too shook of it, and obviously like, what, like I couldn't teach myself that. I didn't know how to go about it. So yeah, I ended up buying this design template. I was like, oh, this is fancy. I think it was like £30. Back then, £30 was a lot of money. And then also, we've got quite a few software engineers in our family.
Have you?
Yeah, well, not quite a few, but yeah, my uncle.
Just your uncle, innit?
And like some other uncle. But yeah, no, he's like, so anyway, he's like a software engineer, and he actually told my cousins, so Bella, Rima, hi. He told them about a Code for Girls bootcamp course. So they ended up doing it. They didn't finish it, but yeah, they done it. No, you know when Bella came on holiday with us to Portugal?
Oh, that's when you were doing the course, yeah.
Yeah, she was doing the course then. But also, that just made me realise, like, this is actually something like I wanted to do, but I just never thought I was capable. And here is like my cousin, who I'd say like we have a similar IQ to each other. Literally, I'm being honest, like she gave it a go, and I was like, what's stopping me? Like, do you know what I mean? And so then I signed up to a course. And also another thing I done was, the moment I decided I wanted to be a software engineer, I don't know where I got this confidence from. Obviously, every single job that I applied for, I got rejected from, but I was like, I need this experience. I just kept applying for grad schemes in a software engineering role when I had no experience. But all of that just solidified to me, like, I wanted to do it even more, because obviously I had to prep for these interviews, and I was learning more about the role, and blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, obviously I saw this opportunity, and I was like, okay, perfect. Like, they don't want you to have a STEM degree. Neither of us have a STEM degree. Like, we've done history, so that was a plus sign. And obviously we're getting the training, and a proposed job at the end of it, possibly. So, yeah, that was that. Now about the bootcamp.
My experience in the bootcamp is slightly different to Fat's. In fact, probably very different to Fat's. I enrolled in this like grad scheme, not really knowing what I was getting myself into. Like, I didn't really have any prior experience of coding, apart from the fact that we both were on Codecademy, and like done a few things on there, and that was literally all I knew of code. So I had no idea what to expect.
Even then, it was 1 hour of Codecademy,
yeah,
right?
it wasn't a lot. First day I was like, Lord help me, yeah, this is just, I just knew from the first day that this was gonna be a real challenge. The first week, yeah, we did HTML, CSS, and was it just HTML and CSS?
And I think we began JavaScript.
And we began JavaScript.
And we done a hackathon already.
Bro, we just did the most in 1 week, okay? And this is like, if you don't really know about like coding languages,
keep going,
programming languages, you won't really understand how much content that is to learn in such a short space of time.
No, actually, can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
So we covered all of that, but also our instructor for the first half, he was some expert spitting out these big words, and it's like, can you chillax? And also, because it was like, I think later on in the bootcamp they realised, but you know, during the first week, I think they didn't really go, because it was meant to be a beginner's course, but they weren't treating it like a beginner's course, because a lot of people had experience already, so that was a bit like, it was just a lot.
Yeah, I think also the fact that the cohort, so the people within the cohort, we were all at different levels. So some, obviously most came from STEM, like STEM degree backgrounds. Others literally had already had jobs as like, you know, within coding, so they really knew what they were doing. And then you had obviously people like myself and Fats who really had no idea. So it was a very like uneven playing field. But I would say the majority of people kind of knew what they were doing and who had already done like a lot of coding before. So in that sense, I already was like, oh crap, like I'm already like at the bottom of the barrel, already have no flipping clue. Like my mind just, basically I just couldn't comprehend these concepts. I didn't understand why things worked the way they did. Like nothing clicked in my head, and like obviously I knew like it was going to take time, and like I had to just bear with it. So I'm going through this course, it just gets harder and harder and harder. The difficulty level just increases as you go on. And then eventually I think we got to week 4, and it was like the beginning of our first major project. It was getting to that point where like I just couldn't cope anymore. There was lots of stuff like also outside of the coding course that was also happening in my life. Then there was this coding course, and like it was just all just too much, guys. You know, I've never felt so like, it was just too much, guys. Honestly, that's all I can explain as. I was just so overwhelmed, yeah, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I had tried, I'd given it a good month, and then I told Fats, I think I was like, I was like, Fats, I'm going to drop out. Like, how long had I been thinking of it?
For so long.
Yeah, for quite a few weeks I had been thinking, okay, I'm going to drop out. But I like bad with the process. I thought maybe it's going to like get better, things are going to get better, but things just started to get worse. Like just with life in general, everything just started to just really go downhill. And I was like, you know what, there's no point putting myself through all of this extra like stress and misery with the coding course when I have to deal with all this other stuff too. So let me just like save myself and just drop out. Like, it's not the end of the world, but like the main thing for me was like I didn't want to be like a failure, and I didn't want to like quit. Like, I don't like quitting, and I don't like failing, and I don't like not thinking that I've tried my best or like not completing something. So that was the one thing that was keeping me in the course. But then it just got to a point where I was like, no, this is just not good for my life or my health. And then I quit. Our mentor slash project coordinator, she was so lovely, and like I had like a decent enough relationship with her so I could be very honest and open. And she just basically said to me, she was like, you don't necessarily have to like full out like quit and never come back. Well, we're having a new cohort start in like a month's time. See how you feel in a month's time, and if you would like to like rejoin in the next cohort, that opportunity will be there for you if like you want it. So that made me like feel a lot better. So like I felt a lot more reassured, because I knew that like if things change and like I wanted to go back, I kind of had that option. But yeah, so I quit with the intention not to go back, if I'm honest with you, because I was like, why would I go back to something that just like stressed me out so much? A month later, I ended up joining back in the course. But I'm so, guys, honestly, yeah. Okay, so I joined back the second time with a brand new cohort. So unfortunately Fats wasn't with me, which was really sad. This was the third cohort. So they had like the organization itself had like experience of the first cohort and a second cohort. So naturally, obviously the third cohort was going to be more improved. It's going to be a better structure. So we had way better tutors for starters. The structure was just a lot better, a lot more like concise, a lot more, actually, to be fair, it was still very intense, don't get me wrong, but like they had fixed, you know, small things, and they had made small improvements. And the people, like, I loved my cohort so much.
I love mine too.
Basically this time the thing that was different is like I knew what to expect. I knew the difficulty, like how hard it was going to be, and I knew that it was just going to take time, and a lot of time. I managed to get through this course, the bootcamp, 3-month bootcamp, and honestly it was the proudest thing. Like the proudest moment of my life was like graduation day, when like I had to complete the 12 weeks and got through everything, because honestly it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and everybody on that cohort knew like how difficult I found it. Everyone around me knew how difficult I found it. Like that was probably all I spoke about.
Babe, can I mention this or not? But like even the second time you wanted to quit as well.
The second time, oh yeah, don't get me wrong, guys.
So what kept you going? Tell me more. Like I want to know. Like, was it the job prospect? Was it the like you like wanting to succeed when you put your head to something? During
the second time as well, there were so many moments I was like, Fats, I can't do this, or like I would tell my mentor like I don't think I can do this anymore. Like I thought about quitting so many times, but I was like no, I was like I can do this, and like I'm not going to quit a second time, because that's just pathetic. And like even if I don't end up being a software engineer from this, it's still something, it's a very good skill set to have. It's a very good thing to have on your like CV. It's just a very good opportunity, and like quitting now is just not an option. Like I just couldn't quit, I just couldn't allow myself to quit. So I just, alhamdulillah, thank the Lord, he gave me the strength to complete, even though like towards the end like it was so tight, like me like leaving and not leaving, but I had got that far. Like I could go into way more detail, but I feel like I've already spoke for a very long time.
But you haven't really. I want you to go in the detail. Like this is why we're doing this, babe.
How much more detail do you want?
So you have to get everything off your chest.
How our course was structured is it was a 9 to 5. It was basically a 9 to 11 p.m, 12 p.m, because most days, especially during the teaching period, I would have to work until the late hours of the night, just trying to catch up, literally catch up from like the last week, because I was always behind, and like I just didn't understand concepts, so I needed to like put in a lot of extra work. We would have 9 to 1 teaching, like straight just teaching, like lecture style, with maybe a few activities in between. Then we would have like an hour break for lunch, and then we would usually go back in the afternoon. Like we would get like a task, and we were given like an hour or two to complete that task, and then we'll go back in the afternoon to cover like the task that we were set. So that was the structure. And then obviously, because it's an intensive boot camp, you're meant to do your own like independent study like after your like 9 to 5 is finished. The languages we learn, so first 2 days, I think 3 days, we did HTML, CSS. This was in the second cohort, so it was even a tighter like space that we did those 2 programming languages. They're not even programming languages, whatever they are, styling languages. Then we did JavaScript, Java, SQL. What else did we do?
Did you Spring Boot?
Spring Boot. What's the other one?
Like application.
What's the other one? Beginning with R. React. And then that was the teaching part done.
You know GitHub, that's a really cool skill.
Git and GitHub. So yeah, and then the last 3-4 weeks were just projects showcasing to like clients and the rest of like our team members what we've learned. So we had to essentially make like back-end and front-end, and then a back-end and front-end together. So yeah, that was the structure and what we kind of learnt during the course. Over to Fats now to give you her experience, because it's probably very, very different from mine.
Not really.
You loved it, babe.
I loved it, but I found it very hard too. So obviously if you come from a STEM background, it's not necessarily that you know like the languages that we're learning, but for example you might have used MATLAB, which is, I can't tell you what that is, but like I don't know if it's like a coding language.
They've done coding before within their degree, even if it's not the exact languages they've had.
Yeah, I don't even know if MATLAB's a language. I don't know what it is, but like the key concepts like loops. I've never come across loops in my life, neither have you, right? But obviously this MATLAB thingy, if you're a biomedical student, like you know what loops are. Like you're coming into this with like you know how coding works. Or like I remember afterwards, you know, they set us up with interviews, and like one of the girls that got through, she was literally like, I've been doing this my whole degree, like I can't tell you that I learned it from like the coding course, but it's just a way of thinking. But it's not to say that if you don't come from a STEM background, whatever, like you're not going to be successful at it. It's just obviously you're a complete beginner. To be honest with you, HTML CSS first week I was able to keep up to date. Like it wasn't, I wouldn't say, obviously I didn't know what I was doing 100%, but like I enjoyed it, like it was fun for me. That quickly changed literally because not little secret, but because they told me last minute that I got a place on the course, I didn't yet quit my other job. So yeah. I was still working, well you were still working as well, but I had to give 2-week notice for my other job. And even then when I tried to give my notice, like my manager was just being long, like he was like, please stay, please, please, please. And I'm just a yes man in it, so I was like, okay, fine.
You're actually a yes man. Oh, that is such a yes man.
But 2022 we're changing. But anyway,
for your own sake, babe.
So I just ended up staying at work, and I think I didn't realise, because that first week went okay-ish, I just thought, oh, it's cool. But the pace just picked up automatically so quickly. When the course ended, like I learned a lot, alhamdulillah, but I didn't realise how much I learned. And things only started clicking like 2 weeks after like the course ended. Like I don't know if I'm making sense. Like I wouldn't be able to solve a problem while I was on the course, but when the course was done and I had it, like you know when you learn something it has to marinate, like it has to settle, do you know what I mean? Because every day we're learning new concepts here, but obviously outside of the course, you know, you do it in your own pace. I was able to just piece together what I learned. One thing I realized, I'm a solo learner. Like I prefer learning by myself, but yeah, I do like group work to a certain extent, like once I've done my own work, once I know what I'm getting into. Unlike Aisha's, ours was from 9 to 12, and then it was literally self-study or group work. And also just shout out to my group. Just shout, because I was the weakest link. But guys, they were so cute, because we had to do this personality test, right? And they were like, obviously I'm just thinking, oh god, because like they have to tell you what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. But the way they were gassing me up, they were like, Fatima, we need you on the team, you're the motivator. Because I just remember this one project, yeah, you know the hackathon? Yeah. Like we created this like random outfit picker thing. I thought that was really cool. Oh, I'm very proud of that, thank you, yeah. But imagine like when we came up with that idea, like I didn't know what we were doing. Obviously my group, who like knew more than me, were like, yeah, this ain't possible. And me out of nowhere, I think because I didn't really know what it entailed, I was like, no, we can do it. Like, what are you talking about? We got this. But yeah, anyways, I was just that person.
Before I forget, honestly, shout out to everybody on that course who helped me survive, because they were just so supportive. Like the people on there were just the loveliest people in the world, and like I couldn't have done it without them. Like genuinely. And
I think that, you know, that's something they say, like if you're trying to be a software engineer, find a community.
Yeah,
like there's so many communities that you can join.
Shout out to code and stuff as well.
Code, oh yeah,
Oh.
Ned Grady.
Ned
if
Grady.
you go to code and stuff, we'll leave the link. It's literally a drop in every Thursday. You guys can use it
In the evening.
It's for everyone, literally. From
like, honestly, he would spend like hours with us, like it literally going into midnight,
guys.
just trying to help us out with coding. And like,
no, can I just tell them one story? This really baffled me. Ned, he does the most.
yeah. Well, I only
Beautiful.
had Ned. I only used to do.
But guys, I had this other guy here who was helping me. I kid you not. Why is it 2? It's midnight. No, it was 3
I
a.m.
said it's 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning, yeah. It was like yeah, like 3 a.m. guys.
Joke,
okay,
that's 2 in the
after
morning.
midnight, I mean. I was just like, what the hell? So imagine, like, it starts at 6. And it's like, these people just love breathe code, like. But yeah, I just
and they're
couldn't
so
believe
willing
it.
to help. Like, everyone's just really willing to help, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Especially for beginners like myself. Like, you need that support.
Obviously, I had to quit my job because it just wasn't happening. And I'll be honest with you, halfway through month 2 and month 3, I literally had no life. And then, like, I quit the gym. I quit, but I didn't quit. I just stopped going. Like, that's unlike me.
Guys, I had no social life during this stage.
But see, I didn't mind. See, I
didn't mind either, to be fair. But it was I didn't see my family for the first 2 months for sure. Like, I genuinely didn't see anybody. I was literally just in my room on my computer.
Okay, yeah, no same, to be fair. Literally, yeah.
Because there was just no time. Like, genuinely, do you know when people say, oh, there's no time to do this? There was actually no time.
You're learning new concepts every day.
You're not learning just one new concept. You're learning about a new language every day. They just wanted to give you, they didn't expect you to become experts on every single concept, but it was just to get the exposure so you were aware of, like, the basics.
Only when I fully immersed myself into it did I actually pick things up. And, like, to be honest now, alhamdulillah, like, obviously as a software engineer, anything I learned from that bootcamp, it's not necessarily the languages, because I'm doing a completely different language. A completely different, like, I'm doing something just to, like, something called a procedural language, but everything we learned was
linked.
What was it? It's completely different, but you learn not to give up. You learn how to problem solve. You just learn key skills. Somewhat my experience, it was hard, but, like, I knew this is what I wanted to do. This is the career path I wanted to take. And I also knew, like, it's a boot camp. Like, what did I, like, I was expecting it. And also because I genuinely did not have a life, like, not I didn't have life, but even before the boot camp I was working. And I'm, like, I like to give 100%. So even at work, sometimes I do, like, bruv, I used to wake up 7 a.m. for work to attend a meeting. My hours did not increase 7 a.m, okay? But anyways, moving on.
It's a little grind, honestly.
One thing that I do want to mention is the difference between back-end and front-end. Obviously, our bootcamp was full stack. And, like, going into the course, I didn't think I was going to be, I would like back-end development. I thought I was more of a front-end girl, you know, like, not even necessarily web development, but obviously, like, the user interface, like picking colours, focusing on design. But I realised I actually love the back end a lot more, and it's a lot more creative as well, because it's not visually stimulating. Like, you're not looking at colours, but, like, mentally you're basically creating the
front
product.
end's not just colours though.
It is, babe.
No, it's not, babe. So
do you
all
know
the JavaScript you need as well. Well, whatever language you're using.
It is true, but you know what's really sad? My interviewer was literally cussing out.
Yeah, that's because he obviously likes back end.
That's not even what, you know what he was saying about front end?
Yeah, he's probably like, they don't know how to code properly.
Literally, as in he was basically trying to imply they're dumb. And I was like, number one, this is so unprofessional for an interviewee. And I think he swore as well. But I was like, you're super smart. He was senior.
What company was he from? So, life after the boot camp. So, what happens next? So, with our specific course that we wanted, it was a grad scheme. So, what happened at the end? We were pretty much guaranteed jobs, but it wasn't 100% guarantee. It was just like a 99% guarantee. So towards the end of the course, we had like loads of interviews lined up with their clients, and they were from quite like renowned, like reputable companies. So I think I had 2 interviews. What I had decided by the end of the boot camp is that I didn't want to be a software engineer. So I wanted to go into tech, but just not into an engineering developer role. I actually have an interview tomorrow, or on Thursday I have an interview. No, it's a tech role. Why do I keep saying non-tech? It's a tech role, it's a non-developer role. So I'm still basically, I'm still like figuring it out essentially. But facts,
Woo!
Is now a software engineer.
Hey, no, but yeah, no,
you are.
Yeah, I am.
You are. You're not with the grad scheme anymore.
I'm not with the grad scheme, but they are very nice. as in, like, he was like, come back, or like in
I think you should, babes. I honestly think you should have stayed.
A few of my friends, so obviously my friends, they're my friends now, from the bootcamp from the grad scheme, they've ended up taking roles with our bootcamp provider. They're so stressed out. One girl, babe, all of them, they start work at 9. They're not leaving the office till 7.
Yeah.
Like where I am now, alhamdulillah, it's just so blessed. Like, also I get to work remotely. I think they have to go in.
Where are they working with?
Atos.
All of them, babes. I told you.
No, but we can say Atos. We don't need to. That's just yeah. I think I just got really lucky with my job now. Like, I really love my team. They're all old and they're gonna retire soon. They're trying to like hire younger people, but like they're just honestly so lovely. And no, wait, like I should know. Can I tell you how chill back work is? Like someone will be smoking on our Zoom call. Oh. Is that normal?
Well, I've never experienced a Zoom call where someone's smoking. Yeah, that's
neither did I.
That's actually not normal. What is he, the CEO or something?
No, he's just a normal coder, but he's quite senior. But still, like, it's just so laid back. Just a perfect environment to learn and not be stressed.
So, the boot camp.
We kept it at the end because we weren't sure if we were going to say it, but like,
why not? But honestly, okay, we'll give our like perspectives on them. So we did this 3-month course / grad scheme with the Bright Network Technology Academy, so BNTA. They're like a branch of Bright Network, if you've heard of it. It's honestly an amazing organization. I highly recommend this bootcamp because I genuinely believe like it's not just about like your experience and your skill set, it's about like you as a person. Like they specifically like try to filter out people who they think have like the personalities and the characteristics who are like, how do I describe it? Who are like not only well suited to the role, but just like nice people. So everyone on that cohort was amazing and they were super friendly, super like supportive and helpful. But then the actual like teachers and tutors and mentors and coordinators, they were also so amazing. The course was all technical based, like technical based classes and stuff like that, but we had loads of soft skill sessions too. So they taught us like how to prepare for interviews, what to do for technical interviews. We've got a lot of soft skill and I've got a lot of training and help for like career stuff and like work stuff. Yeah, honestly, it was a sick course. Yeah, like do it if you're into
definitely recommend it.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, no, I don't regret it at all. Obviously it got me the job I have now because literally the way I blagged about that boot camp, it's the only thing I could talk about, because obviously you need experience, you need to show like a body of work, and obviously I didn't have any before the boot camp, so yeah, it definitely preps you in that sense. They're big on GitHub, which is like the main thing if you're a coder. You'll
literally develop an amazing portfolio by the end of it and like have so much to show for like the 3 months that you've done.
So yeah guys, that was our journey and that sporadic change from a history background, and just ended up, you know, how we both just ended up doing this boot camp and basically landing a role in tech. Can I just say as well, if you don't know, a lot of coders, like, you don't need to have even a degree to begin with, and I think
for this particular course you have to have a degree.
This particular course you do, but there are so many other boot camps that don't expect you to have a degree, but also jobs. It just goes to show, like, obviously experience is everything. If you can show proof of your work, like, 100% go for it.
Right, so that was our software engineering journey. If it's something you're interested in, definitely check out Bright Network Tech Academy.
We'll link it down anyways, and we'll also link, oh my god, if you're a woman and you're trying to get into tech, Code for Girls is amazing.
The thing we forgot to mention about this particular course we did was that it was unpaid, but the training was free. So the training was essentially worth 10k, this is what they told us, and then once you go into employment, which is meant to be straight after you complete the boot camp, you get paid a set salary for 2 years, and then
for 1 year.
I think we've talked enough about our software engineering experiences.
If there's anything like you want to know,
if there's any other questions that we haven't answered, just comment down below and we'll get back to you.
You really don't need to have a STEM.
Guys, if I can do it, you can do it. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, if I can flip and do it, you can.
No, that's not true. Aisha downgrades herself a lot.
No,
okay? She don't know how Arabic at uni.
I'm very realistic when it comes to myself and my abilities in life. Okay, I don't underpay them. I don't overplay them. I know exactly where I, no, I know exactly where I'm at. I know if I'm good at something, I know if I'm bad at something, I know if I'm gonna be able to do something, I know if I'm not. Like, I know myself very well.
You don't.
No, I do.
You thought you couldn't do it and you done it.
Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you benefited.
Yeah, it's a bit different from what we've done before.
Comment and subscribe.
Oh, and that also, guys, this also explains our absence from YouTube, okay? Honestly, no, for real, like it does. Basically, our last video that you just watched, I don't know when it's gonna go up.
That was filmed before
That was filmed before the bootcamp.
See you on the next video.
Bye.